in case there's a chat. Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the KohOscars. I am Caleb Coho, the namesake of the show, and with me today to host this very special announcement ceremony and every episode going forward is my greatest enemy and one of my greatest friends, Cody Newberry. How are you doing?
Hate the name, love the show idea. So that's what I'm here for. I think this show is going to be a very interesting perspective because we're not the elitist of film fans, but it will give us a chance to dive back and look at some films that we haven't seen or given films that we didn't like the first time another chance. So I think it's going to be fun, especially with this nomination. I think it's better than your past couple of years, but it's still probably not great in some people's eyes. But come at us. We don't give a fuck.
The past 3 years has just been me with a couple of friends. Now this year we actually have a bunch of like film lovers who actually put together their nominees, and we did the mathematics and the rankings and all that fun stuff. So yeah, this is going to be great. How the Oscars works is basically your regular Oscars, but we have a couple extra categories to kind of highlight other portions of the film industry. Best cameo, something that we've had a lot of recently. Comic book movie, best sequel, best remake, reboot, best post-credit scene, best soundtrack, best ensemble, best stunts. And we take sound mixing and editing and smush them into one category like they should be, sound design. So without further ado, we'll go ahead. Oh, the other big thing I should say, because I forget this, there's 7 nominees per category because we want to give 2 extra things that wouldn't normally make it in a chance to take some love too. So the first category to announce is Best Post-Credit Scene, and the nominees are Ant-Man and the Wasp, Avengers Infinity War, Crazy Rich Asians, Deadpool 2, Paddington 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I think a lot of these turned out mainly the way you'd expect. Maybe a couple shockers. But with the love of Paddington 2 that Chance Ellison has, no shocker that it made a couple of these.
That is true. That is true. Uh, sorry. So we'll go to the next one. Best soundtrack. The nominees are Black Panther, Blind Spotting, Bohemian Rhapsody, Creed 2, Ready Player One, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and A Star Is Born. Pretty much where I expected it. I haven't seen Blind Spotting for it hasn't come to my theater and I haven't checked it out, so I don't know the soundtrack. Every other one I've seen, so I understand why they were nominated. What's your thoughts?
I completely agree. I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody, it's Queen, Black Panther, Kendrick Lamar curated it, Creed 2. Any soundtrack that has Icon by Jaden Smith is going to make the nominee list, obviously. Ready Player One, covering your 80s. Spider-Verse, which the soundtrack played a big part of it. Same with The Stars Born, which was all original. So, yeah, I think those soundtracks were probably the heavy favorites to be nominated from the beginning. The next category is Best Ensemble, and the nominees are Avengers Infinity War, Bad Times at the El Royale, Black Panther, Blind Spotting, Crazy Rich Asians, Mission Impossible Fallout, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I think a lot of these kind of make sense. The one that really shocked me was Blind Spotting. Again, I haven't seen it, but Paulo Yama was kind of adamant on that one getting in here. So,
And we mentioned these to some people in the community, and they were like, "What? That makes no sense." But again, we haven't seen it, and they nominated. So here we go. Next one, unique category for the KohOscars. Best stunts. The nominees are Avengers: Infinity War, Black Panther, Creed 2, Hotel Artemis, Mission Impossible Fallout, The Night Comes for Us, and the Oscar should have been Oscar nominated Skyscraper. So yeah, stunts. I don't see anything really. Again, I haven't seen Night Comes for Us. I've seen all the other ones. So yeah, I think there's a clear winner, but I will save that for another time.
I agree. All right, the next category, best visual effects. This had a ton of nominees and a lot of input, but it ended up coming down to these nominees: Annihilation, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Avengers: Infinity War, First Man, Paddington 2, Ready Player One, and Solo: A Star Wars Story. I think someone in our community is going to be very excited to see the love for Ready Player One so far. But yeah, I think with the exception of Paddington 2, these were all like the right choices. But again,
Oh, oh.
but again, Chance Ellison loves that Paddington 2. So
I
we can
like
blame it.
that we
Love that.
kept it. I like that we kept it with the Oscars. That Black Panther did not get in because those visual effects are not great. And I will
Oof.
stand by that. So your next one, best sound design. Again, we mush them because there's no point to take up two categories. I get that there's two different people working on it, but they can come together as a team. And the nominees are Bohemian Rhapsody, First Man, Halloween, Mission Impossible Fallout, A Quiet Place, Spider Man Into the Spider Verse, and A Star is Born.
Makes sense to me. The ones that mainly deal with music, obviously, are going to be the ones that kind of slide in there. And of course, you get at least one animated movie in there every year that had really good sound design. I've heard a bit of backlash already about us nominating A Quiet Place, but the way that they make everything sound smooth, even though it's quiet, is kind of a technical skill that sound normally is about. And the Oscars nominated it too, so we're obviously not far off, I think.
Correct. I agree. That person can suck a lemon, so cool.
All right. Our next category is Best Hair and Makeup. And the nominees are Bad Times at the El Royale, Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, Destroyer, The Favorite, Suspiria, and Vice.
Um, yeah, hair and makeup. That's cool. I know it's a talent. There's one clear favorite for me in this, but that's pretty much every category it's in. But yeah, this is actually a pretty good list. I understand why. And give it up for Bohemian Rhapsody and that mustache. That is quality. Just saying. Anything?
Um, yeah, you're right. Bohemian Rhapsody getting in. I think the love for Bohemian Rhapsody overall so far is probably going to piss a lot of people off, and I'm living for it. So
Okay. The next one, best costume design, because me and Caleb know a lot about this. The nominees are Avengers: Infinity War, Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, Crazy Rich Asians, Fantastic Beast and the Crimes of Grindelwald, The Favorite, and Mary Poppins Returns.
I think that we kind of covered a lot of our bases. Infinity War getting in, I could see all the flashy costumes coming together and the achievement of like, oh, now we have Doctor Strange and Iron Man and all the different costumes kind of coming together. Black Panther, all the tribal Wakandan costumes. It takes a skilled costume designer to recreate that Freddie Mercury wardrobe to perfection. Crazy Rich Asians I've never seen, but Kane and Paul were adamant that this was a film that deserved a costume design nomination. Fantastic Beasts probably only eligible for costume design in the eyes of Kane Millen. The Favorite, period piece, obviously going to get nominated, and Mary Poppins Returns. The dress is kind of iconic and doing old timey Victorian, again, another period piece. So makes sense to me. All right. The next category we have is Best Original Song. And the nominees are All the Stars, Black Panther, Is That All Right, A Star is Born, Maybe It's Time, A Star is Born, Shallow, A Star is Born, Sunflower, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Suspiria, and When a Cowboy Trades His Spurs for Wings, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. So we had, I think, in total 3 in common with the actual Oscars on this one, which was pretty solid.
Yeah. Again, I think there is a clear cut winner in this category, but that's uh, that's all how you guys take it. I just think there's one clear. I have not seen the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Some people really love that movie. Some people think it's complete trash. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it, but I it got in the same. I think the Oscars also put that in. So
That was also one of the Oscar
yeah,
nominees. Yes.
so makes sense. All right, best original score: Alan Silvestri, A Avengers: Infinity War. Ludwig Göransson, Black Panther. Ludwig Göransson, Creed 2. Justin Hurwitz, First Man. Nicholas Britell, If Beale Street Could Talk. Marco Beltrami, A Quiet Place. And John Powell, Solo, A Star Wars Story.
I think one of the biggest shockers in this category was John Powell. But I think me and Kane talked about it from the moment we heard that score, that it was one that we would probably consider in our top 10 of the year because of how well John Powell does playing with the Star Wars universe, and kind of putting together a score that is reminiscent of John Williams while still doing its own thing. Beltrami shocked me, considering that movie has minimal score, but I guess whatever minimal score was there, it resonated with the listener and the audience. So yeah, I love that Ludwig Göransson is double nominated for 2 of the best scores I heard this year. So I was like, yes, when I saw that.
Um, First Man is a boring, boring movie. And the music almost put me to sleep. So I get why, but still, not great. Yeah.
All right. Our next category is Best Production Design, dealing with the art, direction, the sets, all of it. And your nominees are Avengers Infinity War, Bad Times at the El Royale, Black Panther, Black Klansman, Crazy Rich Asians, The Favorite, and Hereditary. Black Klansman getting its first nomination of the day in production design.
Yeah. I mean, again, we opened it to 7. We get to see Hereditary for the first pop of this one, too. So, again, this is where some movies can start sneaking up. I've always said, like, the technical categories sometimes are not always. There are certain movies that just win those, and then the other wins the acting. So Black Klansman, production design, I completely understand why the nomination's here for sure. Best film editing, and your nominees are American Animals, Avengers: Infinity War, Bohemian Rhapsody, Green Book, Roma, Searching, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Green Book rearing its head for the first time in this one. Roma, Searching, American Animals. A lot of movies making their first appearance here in the film editing category. I think it's funny how we've seen Spider-Verse's name a couple times, and I think this is the first technical one outside of sound that we've heard it. And when I saw this come up within the 7, I was I was intrigued that an animated movie could pull that off.
We agree that it is either first or second best comic book movie of 2018. So deserves its spot. Again, some of these peek their head, but there will be. I cannot wait for the backlash coming up forward. So go ahead, Caleb. Read them.
All right. The next category is Best Cinematography, and the nominees are Annihilation, Black Panther, The Favorite, First Man, Hereditary, Roma, and A Star is Born. All these make about the same amount of sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not fully on board with Black Panther and cinematography. I get it, but there's a lot of making that movie. So I wouldn't have fully given it. I think something else. I think Green Book. I think some other ones deserve that one. So, but I mean, I get it. This is what the KohOscars is about. You get a bunch of people that disagree on movies sometimes, and different things come in by different voting structures. So, all right. Oh, I'm so happy I get to read this one. Best remake slash reboot. And I'm glad we went 7 on this category, especially because man,
Thank
did
you,
it
Paul
need
and
it.
Chance, for insisting on 7 for this category.
Bumblebee, Christopher Robin, The Predator, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, A Star Is Born, Suspiria, Venom. So yeah,
Yeah, because of the overall voting body deciding that we had to do all 7 spots be filled for every category, we got the Predator and Venom in the remake reboot category. I think Bumblebee is a favorite for sure. A Star Is Born might be the one that everyone is like kind of clear cut going for, but I think Bumblebee is a strong contender in here. Christopher Robin might have some strong contendership. There's definitely some strong picks. But there's a couple of scratchers in here as well.
oh yeah, those are. I can't wait to hear Tom Hardy's acceptance speech with pancreas mentioned. So
Like so many snacks, so little
little
time.
time.
Best sequel. The nominees are Avengers: Infinity War, Creed 2, Halloween, Incredibles 2, Mission Impossible Fallout, Paddington 2, and Ralph Breaks the Internet. 2 animated sequels getting in here, 3 technically if you count Paddington. But
I'm
yeah,
I'm glad that one that was brought up in the group did not actually make it because it doesn't count as a sequel. Um, but I think this was actually a really good year for sequels. Sometimes you get bad movies for sequels, but like I enjoyed every one of these I saw. Some more than others, of course, but yeah. And I'm so ready for the hate on the next category, so I'm gonna take that one on.
well, it's your fault for the next category.
It 100% is, and I don't give a damn. Best comic book movie: Ant-Man and the Wasp, Aquaman, Avengers: Infinity War, Black Panther, Deadpool 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and Incredibles 2. Uh,
Yeah, well, explain why you nominated Incredibles 2 for comic book movie.
it's Fantastic Four. I will say it through it. They got inspiration from that. Blah blah blah. Doesn't matter. If Deadpool 2 is on this flipping list, the better 2 deserves it, and it's Incredibles 2. I rank them in comic book movies. I believe that they count as comic book movies because maybe they don't have a direct line because they don't mention there's not an Incredibles comic. But F yourselves. It's a comic book movie. Enjoy it. And I hope it wins because that would be fantastic to see everybody's reactions.
Well, Incredibles 2 got in for best comic book movie. Do I agree? No. Is it there? Yeah. All right. The next category is best animated feature. Your nominees are Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs, Mary and the Witch's Flower, Mirai, The Night is Short, Walk On Girl, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Because once again we had to go to 7 for this one. Paul was able to get in 2 of his own personal picks, and I had never heard of them, but they intrigued me. So cool.
All right. I'm glad I get to nominate this one too. Best cameo: Jeff Goldblum, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Stan Lee, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Stan Lee, Teen Titans Go to the Movies. Ross McCord, Avengers: Infinity War. Brad Pitt, Deadpool 2. Ray Park and Sam Witwer, Solo: A Star Wars Story. And X-Men, Deadpool 2.
Um, I think one of the big things about this category is like we nominated the actors rather than the performance rather. So obviously Jeff Goldblum, Stanley. The only exception was instead of crediting like all 7 X-Men actors who are in that scene, I just wrote X-Men. So Ray Park and Sam Witwer, obviously Darth Maul, Brad Pitt is Brad Pitt, Ross Marquand is the guy who took over for Hugo Weaving as the Red Skull. So just to clear up any confusion, those are what those nominees are. And our next category that we're moving on to is Best Original Screenplay. And the nominees are Bad Times at the El Royale, Eighth Grade, First Reformed, Green Book, A Quiet Place, Searching, and Sorry to Bother You. I think all of these kind of make sense as to being in that category and getting the nominations. I don't know if there's any like super overt snubs.
Yeah. I think with 7, you open it up and you get some good choices. And I think all of them make perfect sense. Next one is adapted screenplay. Avengers: Infinity War, Black Panther, Black Klansman, Burning, A Simple Favor, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and A Star Is Born.
3 comic book movies getting in there for the screenplay category. This is that's what happens when you open it up to everyone and not just the small majority that do the Oscars. I think all of them are pretty deserving.
Backtrack fast. Go ahead.
Backtrack.
Right.
What? Okay. Then.
I'm just saying, your comic book movies. Guess what? They're enjoyable. Oscars need to give them more love. That's why they're there, because they're good.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The next category is Best Director, and the nominees are Ryan Coogler, Black Panther, Bradley Cooper, A Star Is Born, Drew Goddard, Bad Times at the El Royale, John Krasinski, A Quiet Place, Yorgos Lanthimos, The Favorite, Spike Lee, Black Klansman, and Anthony and Joe Russo, Avengers: Infinity War. You were very excited at the last minute mathematical ballot that Jim Green sent in because it saved a couple of your favorite picks getting nominated.
Yeah. There's one movie that came out this last year that has still stuck with me, and I can't wait till it comes out because I will buy it. I think it's fantastic. But we did something the Oscars couldn't do. We got Bradley Cooper an Oscar nomination because clearly he deserves it. I guess that not all of us haven't seen Cold War, but that's the whole. You want to get people in seats to come see your Oscars, you might want to give the guy that actually deserves it, Bradley Cooper, Oscar nom. So just future Academy. I think this category was created so Caleb could get Eighth Grade nominated, but we'll see. Here is Best Young Actor Actresses. Julian Benson, Deadpool 2. Completely disagree with that choice. Rohan Chan, Mowgli, A Legend of the Jungle. Elsie Fisher, Eighth Grade. Abby Ryder Fortson, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Thomasin McKenzie, Leave No Trace. Millie Shapiro, Hereditary, and Millicent Simmons, A Quiet Place. Yeah, a lot of
Best young actor actress.
Yeah.
A lot of great kid actress and actors that work in Hollywood don't really get the love. Jacob Tremblay never got the love. That's why this was created for the KohOscars. And Elsie Fisher is probably the clear frontrunner of this category because someone is salty about Julian Benison getting nominated.
Yes. Terrible.
You nominated him, so I don't.
I forgot who he was. It was 2 a.m. If I take that away, I still think he gets nominated, and that's frustrating to me because he was a slosh throughout this entire film. But hey, to each his own.
To each his own. All right, our next category is Best Supporting Actress. The nominees are Lucy Boynton, Bohemian Rhapsody, Elizabeth Debicki, Widows, Regina King, If Beale Street Could Talk, Blake Lively, A Simple Favor, Zoe Saldana, Avengers: Infinity War, Emma Stone, The Favorite, and Rachel Weisz, The Favorite. We're gonna get death threats.
I absolutely love with the first nominee, Lizzie Boynton, Bohemian Rhapsody. Well, if you don't know, I love Bohemian Rhapsody, and I don't really care what anybody says or thinks, or it's this or that. Jim Green, you can suck it. I just love that she got nominated. I threw it out thinking I was the only person to put her, and then more people put her. So that's fantastic to me. So yeah. Okay, Best Supporting Actor. We might get less hate on this one. Mahershala Ali, Green Book. Timothy Chalamet, A Beautiful Boy. Adam Driver, Black Klansman. Sam Elliott, A Star is Born. Daniel Kaluuya, Widows. Michael B. Jordan, Black Panther. And Sylvester Stallone, Creed 2.
You're just happy that Stallone got in for playing Rocky one last time.
I'm actually not because I don't think I nominated him.
Yes, you did.
Oh, I did. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think Kayla's more excited for Stallone getting in there.
You're very right.
I don't think he has a shot in winning, just like he didn't have a
No,
shot really in winning the other one. But well, actually, you believe he did deserve a shot, don't you?
I think he should have won the first round, but that's because the competition against him at the Oscars of 2015, I don't think was the super strongest out of what was nominated. So hey,
Send your angry threats to calebcoho@gmail.com. Yeah, I think we did really good. I think the one thing the Oscars got wrong, I think Timothy Chalamet should have been in that category over Sam Rockwell. I think we all agree on that one. But then we let open up with 7. You get Michael B. Jordan and you get Sylvester Stallone in there. I think Michael B. Jordan was the best thing of Black Panther. So with it being nominated for Best Picture but not shown in any acting, it kind of annoys me on that one. So especially with only 8 films at the Oscars. That's what's mind blowing to me. You don't give him anything there, but you nominate him here. That's to each his own.
all right, our next category is Best Actress, and the nominees are Yalitza Aparicio, Roma; Emily Blunt, A Quiet Place; Toni Collette, Hereditary; Olivia Colman, The Favorite; Lady Gaga, A Star is Born; Elsie Fisher, Eighth Grade; and Anna Kendrick, A Simple Favor.
We create a young actress category, and she shows up in that one. So that's
That's just straight to her performance, I guess.
that's my whole viewpoint on the Oscars. I don't think they need to separate it. I think they just need to get their head out of their ass and put people where they deserve. So like Timothy Chalamet, not Timothy Chalamet. You brought him up. The young guy from Room, Jacob
Jacob
Tremblay,
Tremblay.
deserved to be Best Actor nominated for that. That performance was insane, and they just he's a kid. So I disagree with that choice, but I agree. I mean, Elsie Fisher does carry that entire movie. There's no question about it, and she does a good job. It didn't make me turn it off in an hour and a half. So she did a good job. All right, we're back. We're down to the final 2. Are you ready for this, Caleb?
I'm so
Best
excited for the death threats. Let's get this.
Best Actor: Christian Bale, Vice; Jeff Bridges, Bad Time at the El Royale; John Cho, Searching; Bradley Cooper, A Star is Born; Ethan Hawke, First Reformed; Michael B. Jordan, Creed 2; Rami Malek, Bohemian Rhapsody.
We have literally almost everyone from the actual Oscars, with the exceptions of Defoe and Vigo. And Vigo is on here and got bumped off last minute by a last minute ballot cast for Michael B. Jordan. So we got Michael B. Jordan double nominated this year, baby. I love it.
He's in the supporting and the actor? What the
Yeah,
hell?
we got him double nominated, baby. I love it.
I think that's stupid.
I love it. I also love that Jeff Bridges had enough weight to get through because, as you can see, a lot of bad times with the El Royale love. There is one person who had that as their favorite movie this year, me. And the way that voting nominations worked out, there were a couple spots where at least 1 or 2 people agreed with me on my love for Bad Times. This was one of those categories where it was like, yeah, Jeff Bridges was great. Let's nominate him. And I was like, yes. So kicked Vigo out for Jeff Bridges. I think that's a good choice. All right.
Okay.
And here we go. Best Picture will alternate 1 apiece on this one. The nominees for the 4th annual KohOscars Best Picture are Avengers: Infinity War,
Bad Times at the El Royale,
Black Klansman,
Bohemian Rhapsody,
Creed 2,
The Favorite,
Mission Impossible Fallout,
A Quiet Place,
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse,
and A Star is Born.
That is it. Those are the KohOscar nominees for 2018. Fun superlatives to check out the movie with the most nominees. Avengers Infinity War, 15 nominations total. But if we want to take away the blockbuster picks, the second place award goes to A Star is Born with 13 nominations. And the studio with clear, far and away, the most nominations. Walt Disney walking away with 41 nominations from the KohOscars as a studio, which is absurd. But that's what happens when you have all the good movies and the best stuff and everything. So yeah, I think overall, looking at what our nominees are, our categories, I can't say I'm upset with anything. I think everything kind of came out, and I really enjoy doing it with this panel in this way, using the ranking system that Chance of Paul implemented and everything. It worked out really good, and I had a blast tallying everything up all yesterday to make these, and it was great. And I think these are great nominees. Probably the most correct year that we've had so far.
Yeah, it's definitely better than like Elizabeth Olsen over Viola Davis in 2016. There are better choices here, and I think you did a good job. I think this is a cool idea. Again, I like the idea of this show because there are other Oscar shows in this community that are really great. I believe they have really good weight. I just think it's interesting because me and Caleb mostly we sometimes agree, sometimes disagree really strongly on stuff. So it's going to be a nice counterbalance, especially us coming up with lists for different things moving forward because it's going to probably be bi-weekly. I'm thinking, but
Yeah,
it's going to be give us a time for idea, research, watch some movies that we haven't seen, revisit some years, go back. I know Zach Ford had that idea. It kind of didn't come off the ground that often. So I think that'll be a great thing. Bring on guests and stuff to do it with us. I think we're going to have a fun time with this. And the nominees, again, Avengers Infinity War is probably the correct choice of Best Picture because of all it's done back Black Panther. Meh. Yeah, that's my opinion. I'm excited for this year coming up and the future of the KohOscars.
I think some of the biggest shockers include Creed 2 getting his way into Best Picture, but being as good, if not slightly lesser than the first Creed. The first Creed was up for Best Picture here too at the first awards, so it's just living up to the predecessor. I think the first Bohemian Rhapsody getting in is awesome. Personally, I love Bohemian Rhapsody, and I love the love for it. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I believe, is the first animated movie to be nominated for Best Picture at the KohOscars. I believe, off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and make sure Zootopia wasn't, but I think Spider-Verse is the first one to get the nomination. But yeah, this has been the KohOscar nominations. Thank you for checking out our first episode. We will be back to live stream the Oscars and watch and talk along with that. I think that's going to be the next episode. And after that, we'll get into the regular swing of things. So it's not going to be us live all the time. It's not going to be on Saturdays. It's on Thursdays. But yeah, we wanted to bring you the nominations as soon as possible, as fast as possible. Like Cody said, this show's going to be mainly geared towards revisiting, rejiggering Oscars, bringing up Oscar topics. Basically, we are an Oscar talk show. Even when the Oscars aren't going on, we'll go back in time, talk about the Oscars of the past, the present, and the future all year long. So the party doesn't stop here. It's just getting started. So thank you all for watching. That has been Cody. I have been Caleb, and this has been the KohOscars. We will see you all next week. Not next week. 2 weeks. Whenever the Oscars start.